DeepSeek, TikTok, BYD. Just a few years ago, you probably wouldn't have recognized half of those names. Today, they are literally everywhere. They're dominating our feeds, our shopping carts, our streets. But if you ever actually stop to wonder how these brands just seem to spring up out of nowhere and take over, well, the apps in your pocket and those electric cars driving around your neighborhood are actually just the very tip of the iceberg. We are looking at a massive, quiet geopolitical shift. Welcome to our explainer on the global tech shift from factory to frontier. For decades, right, the world basically viewed China as just the factory for low-cost goods. But today, we are going to break down their wild, rapid journey from that manufacturing hub into an absolute global technology heavyweight. Okay, here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the rise of Chinese tech, then look into Made in China 2025. Third, we'll break down competing funding strategies. Fourth, the impact of sanctions. And finally, innovating around the blockade. All right, let's dive right in. Section 1, the rise of Chinese tech. You're probably interacting with this tech revolution literally every single day. I mean, TikTok and CapCut, they absolutely own the social media and video space right now. Then you have Shein and Temu completely upending e-commerce by pairing super cheap goods with these incredibly innovative algorithms. And it's definitely not just software. BYD helped push China to become the world's top car exporter. Oh, and if you see a drone buzzing around, there's a 70% chance it's a DJI drone made right in Shenzhen. But this dominance actually goes way deeper into heavy industry, which is directly impacting global markets. Get this. China currently controls somewhere between 80 to 95% of the entire global solar panel supply chain. That is staggering. And by 2028, experts predict 60% of the world's renewable energy will be generated there. Add in their leading patent numbers in AI and quantum research, and you've got this comprehensive, across-the-board technological boom. So what sparked all this? Let's move to Section 2, Made in China 2025. Look, this massive growth, it absolutely was not an accident. It was driven by a very intentional, long-term economic goal to stop just being the world's factory and start actually owning the cutting-edge global supply chains. And the sheer scale of the investment was mind-blowing. The government laid out a plan to inject up to $1.5 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, into grants, R&D, and foreign acquisitions to make this a reality. And honestly, the results speak for themselves. The initiative laid out over 250 specific mini-goals across 10 target tech sectors. Fast forward to today, and a staggering 86% of those goals are already completed. In absolutely crucial fields, things like EVs, 5G, batteries, and AI, China rapidly caught up to and in some areas completely blew past the leading edge. Now, Section 3, Competing Funding Strategies. How China actually pulled this off highlights a huge contrast in how the East and the West fund and maintain technology leadership. In the West, we traditionally rely a lot on market-led investment, paired with some targeted strategic subsidies. But China operates on a state-backed capitalist system. The government is right in there, directly setting research agendas, aggressively recruiting foreign talent, and often requiring outside businesses to form joint ventures if they want to operate inside its borders. Naturally, smashing these two totally different systems together has caused some serious geopolitical friction. The US and its allies accuse China of essentially shortcutting the innovation process by stealing intellectual property through hacking, targeting big players like US aircraft makers. Now, to be absolutely clear here, China has consistently and fiercely denied all of these accusations. Which brings us right into Section 4, the impact of sanctions. The sheer speed of China's success definitely set off some major alarm bells for its rivals. Citing severe national security concerns, the United States and its allies stepped in and started cutting off access to crucial components. They imposed these incredibly strict economic blockades on sensitive technologies, like advanced microchips and AI hardware, basically trying to put the brakes on this rapid growth. But here's the crazy part. This massive external threat triggered a totally unexpected reaction. It acted as this giant wake-up call, basically forcing the Chinese tech sector to drop its reliance on foreign tech and sprint toward total self-sufficiency. It's exactly like that old Chinese proverb says, life always finds its own way out. And that leads perfectly into Section 5, innovating around the blockade. Hawaii is honestly the perfect case study for this forced evolution. So back in 2019, they were sitting pretty at the absolute top of the world in 5G equipment. Then in 2020, boom, they get hit hard by US sanctions and are completely blocked from buying critical microchips. But instead of folding, they just turned inward. By 2023, they shocked everyone by dropping a phone powered by an internally manufactured advanced microchip, something the entire world thought was literally impossible under the blockade. And we're seeing this exact same hardware struggle mirror itself in software triumphs. Take DeepSeek, that viral AI chatbot everyone's talking about. They were totally blocked from buying the top-tier AI chips you normally need to train massive models. So, what did they do? They innovated around the problem. They came up with these brilliant new training techniques using older, restricted chips. They built a highly impressive AI for a fraction of the cost and, frankly, sent a massive wake-up call straight to the Western tech industry. Now, hold on, we do need to look at the full picture here. Because despite all these flashy, headline-grabbing wins, the blockade is absolutely still working. China hasn't hit every single goal, and they remain years behind the West when it comes to the absolute cutting edge of physical chipmaking. And that's a hurdle that's only going to get higher as the West introduces even tighter export controls. Plus, the West isn't exactly sitting on its hands here. If you contrast China's internal push with what's happening globally, there is a massive ongoing response. I mean, the US recently celebrated a commitment from tech giants to pour up to $500 billion into AI infrastructure. You add in massive counterplans from nations like Germany and Japan, and we are looking at a high-stakes, multi-trillion-dollar race. So we've seen this new high-tech leader emerge with massive ambitions and deep pockets. But we've also watched the West mobilize an incredible amount of capital and strategic blockades right back at them. With the West's deep pockets on one side and China's incredible forced innovation on the other, who do you think will ultimately control the technologies of our future?